Okay, fellow Nigerians, greetings to you all. This is the Comrade Show, and I am glad to salute everyone who is joining me right now. Yes, please, if you are joining this broadcast, let me quickly appeal to you to share this broadcast. Is very important. Don't go away, because the issue of Nigerian presidential election that is coming up in 2023, things like information, we have a lot of information coming out to show that so many things are being compromised right now. And the comfort, the ease, the APC candidates and the APC, family, feels, things are beginning to come out, revelations to show, to show that a major part of this election is being compromised, seriously, and rigging plans are being concluded. As a matter of fact, some of them have been activated to compromise the elections and take it away from Nigerians. We must be very careful. That's why this information, they are very important, so that all of us Nigerians can be aware and know exactly what steps we need to take. Because at the end of the day, to wrestle power from these people that have, always suck on collective, patrimony will not be an easy task. While we dance, while we are doing what we are doing, living happily, within the euphoria being generated by the Peter Obi's emergence, there are other people working very hard in darkness to ensure that this election is taken away from Nigerians. The policy that came out by CBN to say they want to change the Naira, that policy right now, the National Assembly, particularly from the House of Reps, under the leadership of Badabi Amila, they are trying now to introduce, and hurry the bill through to ensure that, people have stock Naira in their houses. They can use that Naira to compromise the election. So many other things are going on. We are going to see those revelations. But my pain is that not just for APC, but for even those who appear, not to notice what we are seeing, and more of which is going to come before elections, and particularly with some of those kind of things relating to Baba Blue or Baja Blue or whatever it is. It's a shame. I'm going to show you a clip, a teaser into the seriousness of what we are talking about. What I said is very important, because for some of us, may we never labor in vain. We've got to get this right, and this is the time to do it. I want to watch this one first, just a teaser.
God bless me, APC. God bless me, APC.
Town hall different from Bala Blue. Blue. Blabba. Bala Blue. Blue. Blabba. Bala Blue. Blue. Blabba. Bala Blue. Blue. Blabba.
Anyway, that is a new drink in town, the Bala Blue, drink, as it were. It's some people have already gone ahead to go and introduce Bala Blue. Anyhow, that's not the topic of discourse. Why I just play this Bala Blue matter is that to think that it is because of Bala Blue that human beings are trying to compromise everybody. It's very worrisome. To see that it is because of somebody who is ill, somebody who is incoherent, somebody who cannot even put his thought together to address the nation. It's the reason why so much is taking place to compromise the election, to compromise over 200 million Nigerians. It's very worrisome. It's very honestly very worrisome. But I'm going to show you this clip. Revelations made by the coalition of political parties CUPP. I've listened to these things and I'm honestly troubled. And every Nigerian who really mean well for Nigeria must be troubled. I want to just take my time to listen. And probably some of you may have the ideas that they don't even have, that will help us to prevent this WOTOWOTO WAHALA and calamity that is looking to befall, before Nigeria. Awasha.
Need for vigilance by Nigerians to monitor the process since the last time we summoned you and briefed you about the Omomamaji compromise of the National Voter Register. A lot has happened. We must categorically state that after our exposition of the Omomamaji compromise of the voter register and plot to cancel the use of the beavers for the election, INEC has since announced the cleaning of over 2.7 million unqualified registrants from the register. Furthermore, INEC has published the voter register in all the local government areas and the over 8,800 wards in the country, calling for Nigerians to raise objection, observation, and complaint. Beyond that, the Commission has also uploaded the register on its website, where the entire register is now available to all Nigerians to access and assess. From the publication of the voters register, we are vindicated. And it is now confirmed that, as we allege, the Omomamaji compromise of National Voter Register even happened in more than 18 states we were tipped off about. We condemn in very strong terms the very large silence of some of the investigative agencies in being unable up to this moment in finding those who perpetrated the Omomamaji and holding them to account, and the attempt by some of them to distract Nigerians by arresting and charging innocent staff of the Electoral Commission who we had. Some of them have now been discharged by the courts. If Nigerians are to take the security agencies seriously, the Inspector General of Police must not allow factual allegations of crime against the electoral process to go without action. Compromising the voter register is a crime as provided in the Electoral Act, with a punishment of 1 year imprisonment. So the security agencies must not keep quiet. They must go after these men and prosecute them. We call on the DSS and the Inspector General of Police to put into effect the commitment we reached with them at our meeting with them by ensuring the prosecution of the politicians involved in the Omomamaji, despite their political leanings and how highly placed they may seem. INEC has since conducted internal inquests and has identified all staffs involved with their external collaborators to compromise the voter register. This is commendable. In a few weeks, we expect to see prosecution commence. There must be consequences for such crime. It is based on the above, removing of the 2.7 million unqualified registrants, conducting an entire inquiry into the Omomamaji compromise of our National Voter Register to identify the staff involved, and publishing the voter register on its website, a move that gave Nigerians the ultimate power to be involved in the quest for transparency and cleaning up of the register by allowing them to view and make input that the Nigerian opposition family unanimously passed a confidence vote on the national chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, and the National Commission for this feat. They have shown so far courage, wisdom, commitment, faith, and capacity to ensure that the 2023 general election is transparent, credible, free, fair, and acceptable. The INEC chairman has also, by the publication, proved beyond reasonable doubt that INEC at the highest level is not complicit in the compromise of the register and that he has nothing to hide. The fact that INEC has opened the largest database of citizens in the country for scrutiny by Nigerians who are the actual owners of the data is most commendable. No one can do it better than the citizens themselves. By providing access to the data, INEC is willing to work with Nigerians, and we all should work with them rather than picking too much faults. Therefore, we call on Nigerians to go to INEC websites. Just make the INEC website. Don't carry two. Yes, of course. That was the. We call on Nigerians to go to the INEC website, check for their names, and make observations and concerning any other names in the register that is not supposed to be there. And there are faces that look underage, persons known to be dead, or indeed any other type of observation. Kindly make the complaint and observation to INEC. We hereby call on all chairmen of opposition political parties and the few honest members of the ruling party to encourage citizen participation in cleaning up the register. We also call on religious leaders in churches, mosques, shrines, temples, and wherever to urge their adherents to check the register. We also call on all traditional rulers and leaders of social cultural groups civil society organization, the media, and all citizens to participate in this process to help secure our election. For those who may not know, the official channel to make the complaint to INEC, you may forward such to us also through our Twitter handle and also my own handle, Ikengimo, on Facebook, Ikengimo Gochinyere, so that it will be done as part of our comprehensive submission back to INEC. Already, we have observed underage voters as well as duplicated photos and names. At the Secretariat, we have noted massive underage registration, duplicated photos, and names, particularly in states like Kano, Borno, Katsina, Jigawa, Kaduna State. These observations are already being complained to the Electoral Commission, and Nigerians should be assured that every valid complaint will be considered and action taken by the Commission, as they have assured us that all objections will be addressed, which is why they publish the register online and at ward and LUGA level, as many of you can see. With this said, we shall further inform Nigerians that there are still live threats to the 2023 election. Despite President Muhammad Buhari's verbal commitment that there was no plan to sack the INEC chairman, that dastardly plot is still, unfortunately, alive and kicking, even harder now within his party. There is still a plot to sack the INEC chairman to frustrate the use of BVAS machine and the cleaning up of the voter register. Countrymen, our intelligence is that following the publication of the voters register by the Electoral Commission on its website, it is the entire register from 2011 till date. The initiators of the Omuma Magic, who many thought had seized action in their plot to remove the INEC chairman, set out again on the same ill-fated mission. This time, they claim that the INEC chairman is working hard to see that the ruling party is voted out of office next year. They insist that INEC went beyond its bound to publish the entire voter register, which has made it possible for citizens to make observations and objections on the register, particularly in states controlled by the ruling APC. On this basis, they claim the INEC chairman is working for the opposition. What a shame. It is for this purpose that the Nigerian opposition and indeed all Nigerian citizens of goodwill have resolved that we shall resist and reject any form of arrest of the INEC chairman when he returns to the country. We shall also vehemently resist and reject every form of resignation from the office by the INEC chairman, either forced or otherwise, or any other form or method of removal from office, as the Omuma Magic initiators now speak more boldly and assuredly than before. We therefore call on any federal high court judge before whom any form of application seeking the removal of the INEC chairman from office is pending before to remit such files back to the chief judge of the federal high court and not grant such order. We call on President Muhammad Buhari to look beyond his verbal commitment made at the United Nations General Assembly for leaving behind Nigerians with credible election, because his party men are working around the clock to sabotage that commitment. Mr. President should let his people know that he will not tolerate any attempt at destabilizing the electoral process. Operation Wire. Further intelligence have intercepted the ruling party's desperation to emerge victorious by all means necessary includes digital vote buying, which is codenamed Operation Wire. This operation, the APC designed immediately after the announcement by the CBN on redesigning the Naira. This plot has now received approval at the highest level of the ruling party and its campaign organizations. Also designed in Imo State and exported to 21 other states of the Federation. They require the party harvesting names, account numbers, and voters' identification numbers, bank verification numbers of citizens, and arrange in tables for each polling unit on the understanding that money will be sent to each person by electoral means to purchase their votes. Let me show you some of the things that have been done. You can see here, this is from our Mama 1, polling unit 004 in Oru East, Oru West Axis. These are the phone numbers of the people, their PVC number, their bank account number, their BVN. This is the local government of Governor Hope Uzodinma. Now they have harvested it and put it on a table with which money will be transferred in what we call Operation Wire digital vote buying. Also, these are the forms that are given. This is the one that are given in Abia. They call it APC empowerment form. This is the one they are giving in Ekiti State. They call it Ekiti Development Front Form, with which they are harvesting the account numbers and the PVC and BVN of people. This is the one for Cross River. They call it Forum of Tinubu Support Group in Cross River. This is the one also they are using in Southeast, especially in Ebonyi State. This is the one that being used in Ebonyi State. They call it Support Group Coordination Southeast Ebonyi and parts of Enugu, with which they are harvesting account numbers and BVN and PVC of innocent rural dwellers. This is the one they're also using in Katsina, Citizen Grassroots Farmers Association, with which they are harvesting the BVN, the account number. And this is the one they are using in Imo State and some part of North Central. They call it APC vote canvassing form, to collect the PVC, the BVN, and the voter card of the voters. This is also the one they are using in Lagos and North Central. They call it Women for Tinubu in collecting these data. And this is some of the account numbers already harvested. In Imo State and Ebonyi State, this plot is executed under the name of APC canvassing form. In Ebonyi State, it is called Support Group Coordination Southeast. While in other parts of Southeast, like in Abia, it is called APC Empowerment Form. In Enugu and Anambra, it is executed as the All Progressive Congress Empowerment Form. In Katsina State and other parts of Northwest, the plot is executed under the Citizen Grassroots Farmers Association. In Ekiti State, they are operating under the Ekiti Development Front (EDF). In the North Central, Operation Where is executed under the North Central Women for Tinubu. In Cross River State, the details are harvested under the Forum of Tinubu Support Groups. In the rest of the country, the APC is harvesting details using the vote canvassing form, which is also being used in Imo State. Our intelligence is that so far, as of November 20, 2022, over 10 million account details have been successfully harvested, and voters' card details have been for vote buying, and that I showed. Let us again start with Governor Hope Uzodinma's local government area, Oru East and Oru West Axis, especially our Mama, where the following account numbers, voters' details, and other personal details have been harvested into the payment schedule and waiting for payment instruction. Names like Eugene Ikwoma with Access Bank account number that ends in 3620. I won't mention the full account number because of privacy issue. This is it here. Now BVN that ends in 5357, a phone number that ends in 4121, and VIN number that ends in 8570. Elua Matoni Ifani with Sales Bank account number that ends in 8928, BVN that ends in 8702, a phone number that ends in 5144.
Fellow Nigerians, please, I'm going to continue this video. I beg, if you are there, you love Nigeria, you love change in this country, you don't watch this broadcast, I beg, share them, because the effort that is being made by CUPP over, the course of this electoral window is yielding lots of results. And it's yielding lots of results because Nigerians are getting to know the truth about this whole thing. The other day, they made revelations, revealed that a number of people were added into the register illegitimately. Less than a month later, INEC acted, and more than 2 million people have been removed from that register. So the power of our sharing is massive, because this matter they are revealing right now is already discussed by the whole Nigerian media. The whole world is looking to this matter, and INEC is in the eye of the storm. Everybody that is being indicted here, they will be in the eye of the storm. People will be asking them questions, and all of this is going to help make our election, freer and fairer. So we want to share this broadcast. Anywhere I see things like this, we will share a bed. It's very important, because we all have our roles to play in this matter. But we'll continue more and not verse 2 more. Let me just add that one.
And VIN number that ends in 9260. That is how they have tabled these details in the unending list for 22 states of the Federation for use during the election under Operation Wire digital vote buying. Nigerians will be hot if this election can be sold and bought like crayfish in the ordinary market. We call on the staff of banks to give us information anytime they see such questionable transaction of vote buying in their banks. We also call on the EFCC to be on the lookout for such. Any political party which desires to send money to agents should be compelled to send the bank an acknowledged copy of the official list of agents submitted to INEC. This will help forestall any unreasonable claims that they are paying agents. It must also be noted that there is only one agent per polling unit for a political party. Hence, any claim that the data being harvested is that of party agents is dead on arrival. Again, we call on the police, the DSS, and the EFCC to immediately swing into action and arrest the harvesters of these bank accounts and voters' card. If security agencies claim that they do not know who harvested them, we now tell them to apprehend the person whose identity are contained in these documents, and from there get the identities of who and to who they surrender their personal details to. Abuma Magic Plus. Gentlemen, recall that immediately following our Abuma Magic expose, several Hallelujah boys of the government in Imo went overboard, addressing multiple press conferences. While many of those persons were modest in their denials and lies against the facts we presented, one particular wannabe political leader resorted to calling us names in the most crude manner and called for the arrest of opposition leaders here, including my humble self, and insisting that security men must unravel the source of our intelligence. We wondered why a supposed deputy speaker of a state house of assembly will not be troubled by facts contained in Magic. Compatriots, we intercepted credible intelligence of his alleged involvement in the Abuma Magic. Today, we present to you Abuma Magic Plus. Facts behind the attack on the opposition by one Amara Iwayanwu. We find it difficult to refer to him as honorable, the deputy speaker of Imo House of Assembly, and a very prominent political hallelujah boy to the governor of Imo State. In Mr. Iwayanwu Amuzi Hall polling unit in Dim Nanume ward of Wangele local government area of Imo State contained the worst compromise of our register. We have taken a look at the voter register for his polling unit and can see Kano and names from Cotonou. We now present to Nigerians a few names contained in the Amuzi Hall polling unit of the deputy speaker. The name of Adeyinju Victor, born in 1997, appears 6 different times with 6 different faces of both male and female. Another name, Edith, born in the year 2000, appears 10 times with different faces in both male and female gender. Nigerians now listen to the names in this polling unit. This is Wangele, Amuzi Hall, Dim Nanume. Now a new polling unit surprisingly have 1,200 registered voters. Names like Abubakar Abdul Rashid, Abubakar Hawa, Abubakar Mohammed, Abubakar Isaka, Abubakar Lovet, Abubakar Haruna, Abubakar Ibrahim, Abubakar Mohammed, Abubakar Dumi, Abubakar Tenaga. Now they moved over to Southwest. Okay, before Southwest, Adamu Salamatu, Adamu Unisa, Adamu Zanab, Adamu Adebenjo. Now they moved over to Southwest, and then where you have names like Adeyinju. Now you have Adeyinju Victor O, a grandmother's picture. Adeyinju Victor O, the same Adeyinju Victor O, different picture, another person. Adeyinju Victor O, Adeyinju Zvraya, Adeyinju Innocent, Adeyinju Victor O, repeated again. Adeyinju Victor O, repeated again as a grandmother. Adeyinju Victor again, repeated again. Adeyinju Victor. This is what has happened in Wangele, an Igbo dominant local government. Only 50 Igbo names is in their register. The rest, the 1,000, is Hausa and Yoruba. All the new polling units in Wangele have new registration ranging from 90 to 150. But this particular new polling unit, Dim Nanume, has a shocking 1,225 registration and 1,100 are fake. Our investigation has it that in the booth, only 72 names out of the 1,225 are Igbos. Other names registered are Hausa and Yoruba. And permit me to mention the Abuma Magic Plus on list in Wangele in the ward of the Imo Deputy Speaker, who is Hope Uzodima's boy, which we have done. This spans also to Nnanano ward, which is in Nkwere, where one Chinas and one Eri and the Chief of Staff to the Governor of Imo Nnandaye comes from. You have also Ward 2 in Nkwere, where the Housing Commissioner comes from. And other wards of leaders of APC in Boronu, in Yobe, in Kano. This mess is everywhere. So while we commend INEC for being courageous enough for publishing this register online, which has made Nigerians to see this shocking, disturbing development, we are expecting security agencies. We are calling on security agencies, especially the police and the DSS, to arrest the staff who carried out registration in the home LUGA and ward and the polling unit of that Mr. Amara, and ensure the staff and the collaborators are arrested and prosecuted. Like we said before, we also need action taken on the underage multiple registration and duplication that affected registration in most parts of the northern states. Operation Afternoon Raid. Fellow citizens, there is yet more troubling intelligence of threat to free and fair election come 2023. In yet another ignoble idea test run also in Imo State immediately after the signing into the law of the 2022 Electoral Act is another plot codenamed Operation Afternoon Raid. Nigerians know that the voting rules allow any person in the polling center by 2 p.m. to vote. Hence, in this plot, the ruling party thought will storm various polling centers and cut away electoral materials and officers about 2 p.m. on election day. With this, they can allocate all the votes in line with the number already accredited inside the beavers machine to their candidate and upload same, thereby scoring unmerited votes. Security agencies are yet to question any person for the massive rigging of election in Ngokpala constituency in Imo State, where this afternoon raid was carried out. What they do, and that is why Nigerians must listen to me now, they waited for accreditation to get up to 11-12. Because if they have attacked by 9-10 a.m. because of the beavers, there is nobody that have been accredited. And if they attack late around 4-5 p.m., result is already transmitted. They waited around 11:30 to 1 p.m. and then snatched the beavers machine and took some of the INEC staff and then took the number that is already accredited and then forced them to write a result which they uploaded to the INEC server, thereby making it look like it's a legitimate election. That is why vigilance around this hour is very important. This is part of the consideration that the ruling party has resolved to deploy in Southwest region, in Southeast, where they intend to use this method and score at least 95% of the vote cast in these regions. Gentlemen, there is an aspect of the plot that we are working on but have slowed down on since the magic was exposed. Those who did not get the complete intel on that. However, we were made to understand that they were working on the belief that with some tampering with the technology, they will have accreditation number preloaded for them in various centers. Nigerians should be assured that we have our eyes where the APC cannot see them, and we are watching closely. This is despite the fact that we accept INEC explanation that the technology is tamper-proof, and we appreciate INEC for that. But we are dealing with political buccaneers, so we will remain vigilant. Nigerians still demand from security agencies a full explanation of how, and this thing I want to say is very important. I want every Nigerian to listen to it. If somebody can upload fake names, multiple registration in Boronu, in Yobe, in Amus, the deputy speaker, Amarachi's word, in Omuma and so on and so forth, the question you ask yourself, knowing that the election is by fingerprint accreditation, how is that person planning to accredit the voters? And that is why the security agencies, it is their duty to find those who did the fake registration and then investigate to find out whether they have found a way to undermine the technology so that we don't run into problem on election day. Nigerians still demand from the security agencies a full explanation of how the people who uploaded the fake registration intended to accredit them during the election. This is why the silence of the security agencies is very worrisome. Nigerians are praying we do not go to election and magical figures begin to emerge from space. The security agencies owe Nigerians a solemn duty to also protect the offices and other facilities of INEC so as not to negatively affect the smooth conduct of the election. And it's on this part we also appreciate the Inspector General of Police and the DSS for the interaction they had with all the political parties, where they assured that INEC infrastructure going forward will be effectively protected. Clamp down and trump up charges. The opposition also condemns the use of magistrate court by security agents working in cahoots with the state governors to detain opposition leaders on trump up charges and sometimes granting impossible bail conditions. In Kaduna, in Ebonyi State, in Kogi, and Imo State, these provocative actions are rampant. Opposition candidates in these states are not allowed to campaign. Our Labour Party senatorial candidate, who from Ebonyi, and the PDP governorship candidate, Dr. Ifeanyi Chukwuma Odi Anyi-Chuks, and their supporters are hunted left and right on daily basis. Same with most opposition leaders sitting right here, including my humble self, Ojinika, Ame, and other people who are here. They have planned to adopt and use trump-up charges to silence us. Following our last meeting with the Inspector General of Police, we believe that the issues such as attack on rally venues and party campaign must be put to a stop, and that the private security guards and operatives being run by these governors resist their work to crimes and not be deployed to attack political opponents of the governors. Equal access to public assets must be granted to all political actors without favoring any group. Security agencies must ensure that this is followed. These security challenges must be brought under control immediately. Countrymen, no to the plan to frustrate and shift the deadline for currency exchange. Countrymen, the ruling APC cannot stop rigging. They seem not to understand what it means for an election to be free and fair. Their survival depends only on rigging. Otherwise, how can the APC party contemplating frustrating the Naira design policy of the central bank even after the president has given his full support to the policy? The APC, taking advantage of his control of the House of Representatives, has drafted an amendment for introduction into the House of Rep. Let me see that amendment, the amendments, the draft, the law. This is it, the currency change procedure bill, where amendment 7, then being sponsored by Femi Gbajabiamila, Mohammed Tahir Mongunu, Professor Julius Ihombere, Bamidele Salam, Honorable Benjamin Okezie Carlo, Honorable Oluwole Oke, Honorable Amos Gamawa Mageji. While not saying Nigerians are rushing to deposit their money back, they are trying to make a law that will shift the time to deposit money to 6 months after the general election. No. The APC is taking advantage of its control of the House of Representatives and has drafted an amendment for introduction seeking the urgent amendment of 2 laws, the Central Bank Act and the Decimal Currency Act in a Currency Change Procedure Bill 2022. These 2 laws provide in Section 4.3 of the Decimal Currency Act and Section 23 of the CBN Act for a notice of 3 months by the CBN for the redesigning of the Naira or withdrawing any coins or notes from circulation. This informs why, by that calculation, the current note in circulation will cease to be legal tender on January 31st, 2023. But to aid the APC rigging machinery, we have been informed of the draft bill by Speaker Gbajabiamila and 6 other APC members of the House of Rep, which I just mentioned their name, who want to quickly pass the law to allow for this notice for exchange of the old Naira to be extended to 6 months after the 2023 general election, meaning that those with huge sums in their warehouses can easily use those cash to buy votes. This draft amendment will automatically allow the current Naira note to be legal tender till April 2023, after both the presidential election in February 2023 and the governorship election in March has concluded. How can they make a law in retrospect? The CBN has already given the required lawful notice in compliance with the instant laws, that is, the Decimal Currency Act and the CBN Act. Here, the APC House of Rep, led by Femi Gbajabiamila, wants to hurriedly make a law to effect the already issued lawful notice and extend the deadline for deposit of old Naira note to be after the 2023 general election, thereby messing up the anti-money laundering, economic and political gains of the policy. This is the extreme of legislative rascality, which would make it null and void. We therefore call on constituents of the Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, Benjamin Okezie Carlo, Mohammed Tahir Mongunu, Oluwole Oke, Julius Ihombere, Amos Magaji, and Bamidele Salam, who are the alleged sponsors of this bill, to quickly desist from this rigging bill. These members ought to know better. How can they propose an amendment with the sole aim of just moving the deadline for the exchange of the old Naira date to after the election? What are they hiding? None of these members have proposed an emergency bill for victims of recent flooding that ravaged families, or even the hundreds of thousands of victims of insecurity. They have not even made any law demanding immediate prosecution of perpetrators of Obama magic or to stop other brutalities happening in the country, which is rampant. But they quickly want to amend the law so that some politicians can possibly have cash in their hands to buy votes. Clearly, the APC can tip the country overboard just because they want to win election. The opposition.
Fellow Nigerians, I mean, whether we like it or not, our election is seriously under threat. You know, all the effort that Nigerians have been putting into this process to elect a leader, of her choice, it's right now being compromised. It's been, okay, but we are glad that we are able to get some of these revelations. And it's unfortunate that we are not getting so much from the police. I'm not expecting that, because this election is a context between the establishment and the ordinary people of Nigeria. It's a contest between those who have been benefiting from our collective patrimony, who don't want to let go, and the ordinary people who feel the brunt of the wickedness of leadership as far as Nigeria is concerned. And therefore, if we have come this far, we must pull through together. We must hold the force, we must hold the line. We must do what we have to do to guarantee that the votes will count without any form of compromise, as it were. Now, what we are seeing right now, what is happening right now to this country, it's been the history, it's been the culture, that no matter what rules of engagement we have, there will always be people who will want to circumvent those rules, who will want to use those rules against Nigerians. Revelations came out that there were children registered, there were people who are not supposed to be in the INEC register and every other thing. INEC has so far put over 2 million out of that register, fake registration, and yet there's been no arrest made by the security apparatus of Nigerian states. There's been no statement even from the presidency of the Nigerian states. The other day, somebody released an information. PVC is already being sold for about 10,000 naira in some of the eastern states, captured on video, which even this document by CUPP, what's it called, alluded to, and all of that. And we can see that this CUPP document, is already revealing some of what is already out there. Now, there's a policy now by the CBN, approved by the president of Nigeria, to change the Nigerian currency. For many of us, we have not spoken about it in any negative sense, because we believe that based on the timing, the timetable and every other thing, okay, people who have stopped money anywhere they have to use in this election, they may not have those monies to use anymore, because by the time the election comes, the currency with them would have been invalid. Now, Majabi Amila, a political son of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Julius Ihonvere, and a few other persons, they are sponsoring a bill to quickly make sure that they compare INEC and they compare central bank to backtrack on the timetable of that policy, so that they can get the monies they have stashed away to use to compromise the election before central bank, what's it called, policy and arrangement and timetable on this issue of changing currency will come into effect, so they can have the chance to use the money, bank whatever is left before that thing comes. And that is wrong. Now they want to hurry this bill, to amend this bill, to compromise this election. You understand what I'm saying now? And the only thing about this bill is changing the dates. There has been no bill to declare state of emergency on the issue of flooding. There has been no bill to declare state of emergency on the issue of hunger in this country. There has been no bill that is centered on the people of Nigeria. This will tell you how wicked the political leaders we have are. Abel, Bajabi Abiala is coming from somewhere. Okay, he has a constituency. I think it's from Lagos. I want to speak to our Edo State people. All Edo State bloggers, I want to appeal to you. Julius Ihonvere mentioned is an Edo State man. It is our responsibility to call Julius Ihonvere out and call him to order. Julius Ihonvere being a part of this bill that many of us have seen is solely motivated to compromise this election should be called by Edo State people. Every Edo State blogger right now, everybody in the world of Edo State should be calling Julius Ihonvere to order. Right now, let him come out and defend himself. Let him come and tell us, when did he bring that bill for consideration by his own constituency, Edo State people, the people he represents from Edo State? Because under normal circumstances, when you are representing a people and there is a bill, you need to first of all come to your constituency and discuss the bill with your constituents. Until now, some of us never heard that Julius Ihonvere was part of this arrangement. So it behoves on Edo State people to quickly call Julius Ihonvere to order this minute. The least that politicians can do in this election is to allow a level playing field. And it's so heartbreaking, as far as I'm concerned, that these people are compromising this whole election arrangement because of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is the most difficult aspect of this matter that some of us, cannot comprehend. A man that visibly we can see that this man, apart from old age, is unwell. You want to force this person on Nigerians. This man, all through so far, has been a joke. A joke. How can we be so wicked because of personal interest that people's individuals' interest? They want to fight. They want to force. I don't want to insult him. But to somebody you can easily see that this is a walking dead person on Nigerians inside all this problem we did right now. A man who we call an umbrelletta. A man who don't even remember his own party, the name of his own political party. He will call it a PD, and later he will remember that he's a member of APC. A man who cannot put words together. Bala blue, nobody eventually can say exactly what he wanted to say. Because age and head is already catching up strongly with him. This is a man that enemies of this country want to force on Nigeria. Nigerians, we cannot, see people have come up with so much information. We cannot leave the authorities to protect us or to look after us. We must look after ourselves, which is why broadcasts like this we have to share. It does not matter where it comes from, the comedy show, but when we have information like this, if we are not out there making the videos, let's keep sharing, because at the end of the day, we see the power of social media in this electoral landscape. Every information that becomes viral receives attention from different sources. It becomes a matter that even as we speak, earlier today, Delta State government, they are already defending themselves about the 30% derivation they receive that Governor Wike talked about. Delta State government, they are already on TV defending themselves that they did not receive that much. If Wike had not revealed and we did not catch it on it with social media and every other thing, they will not be defending themselves. And yet we are going to get to the truth of that matter, because we expect the federal government to come out and tell us how much Delta State received. Edo State, we are waiting for official statement from Edo State, but Edo State right now, they are already using the cronies of the government, the media aides of the government, to try to start releasing, what Governor Basaki has done. I have read some of them on social media through WhatsApp and every other this thing. And all of that I can tell you is in response to the fact that all of these states, Niger Delta states, are already under fire. And the reason why they are under fire is because people, the bloggers on social media, they have clamped down on this information, you understand, clamped down on the states, and they are asking questions. We cannot do less with this. This is very grave. All of these arrangements, alleged arrangement by APC to rig this election, it's grave. And we cannot in any way be quiet about it. Please share the broadcast, is important. Go and look for that video independently, share. I am going to pieces that video even more. We are going to discuss some of those issues. Let's keep discussing them. Let them be out there. So that even the ordinary Nigerian man who is going out to vote on election day, we must realize that we are going to war. We are going to war. The plan that people will wait and want to come and steal, INEC equipment in the polling units, we must resist those plans. Anybody when they come and say want to carry out violence on election day, make we still ready. Nobody come out, leave the head for house. Let us go and meet on that ground. Let us go and meet on that ground. Because this is a fight for our own lives as a people. As we talk right now, the federal government is planning to borrow another chunk of money. Inside this debt we do right now. Inside this debt, they want to borrow more. What they are doing with the borrows, we don't know. Not too long ago, another $20 million was released by the international community. Abacha loot. You will not hear anything. And yet, there will be no bill sponsored by Badabi Amiala and Julius Iwomere and others. to demand questions from the federal government of Nigeria, to demand questions from the presidency. Nigerians, we don't have representatives, we don't have anybody representing us. These guys in the National Assembly, they are representing themselves in this election. We Nigerians, we are not counting on anybody representing us in the National Assembly. We will represent ourselves. It is on that note, I from Edo State, Julius Ihonere, or Edo State people explanation how his name got into that particular arrangement to circumvent this process of changing currency. Julius Ihonere needs to come and talk to Edo State people, because this way they be now, some of una go run from that Abuja, from there come on, not come back home. That is where it is going right now, because this matter is that serious. Edo State people, are they very emotional? Nigerians, are they vexed? Because I know that we have worked very hard to this point, but to sit down say information they come out, say some people don't even care, and that is why they can sit wherever they are. They will say they will labor in vain because they believe in what they are doing. Nigerians, let us come out and defend ourselves against this wickedness of these people who they maroon themselves all around. They want to compromise the election. We cannot labor in vain. We will labor and see the result of our labor. If at the end of the day, Peter Obi not win this election, and we can convince ourselves, say, this election has been free and fair, legitimately, we will all beat our hands on our chest to say, yes, we have done a good job. It's not a do or die affair. If majority of Nigerians prefer, say, no, be Peter Obi will be president, so be it. But it has to be free, fair, and credible. And we must verify it, that it is free, fair, and credible. Anything outside of that, man, anyway. And the whole allegation that INEC chairman, his position is under threat, is something else that we have to resist. I mean, anyway, let me leave the rest for now. My people, more na listen to a person when they want me to put force on all of us. More na listen to them.
God bless the APCs. God bless the APCs.
Town hall different from Bala Blue. Blue. Blabba. Bala Blue. Blue. Blabba. Bala Blue. Blue. Blabba. Bala Blue. Blue. Blabba.
The office of the president of Nigeria, of the Nigerian state is a serious office. It's not for jokers. It's not for people who are incoherent. It's not for people who are inconsistent. It's not for people who have no integrity. It's not for people that Nigerians cannot have faith in. This is why it has to be about competence. Competence entails a lot of things. And the only person that we see that is competent to become president of Nigeria today on the field is Peter Gregory Obi. Let's not forget. And that is why they are all doing what they are doing right now, to make it difficult for Nigerians for this church to come. If only Peter Obi will not deliver, that we are able to elect somebody outside of this block, somebody that we can be sure will bring so many other people that have never been there before, that have been frustrated by the economy and the level of insecurity in Nigeria, to come to the table and discuss the future of Nigeria. That, for me, is a source of hope. Talk less of saying we have a Peter Obi who will not be running to London to go and spend 3 months on admission or medical treatment. We have a Peter Obi whose track record we can trace, a man that has not been indicted to say he stole billions from his state. Which government in Nigeria is not under some indictment one way or the other of having stole so much amount of money when he was governor? Fellow Nigerians, we have the ball is in our court. It's not in the court of these guys who want to compromise elections. It's in the court of what we decide to do as a people. I want to share the broadcast. God will bless you now. I've spent I didn't intend to spend this long, but it's all right. I'll see you guys when I see you. God bless you all, and God bless Nigeria.
Are you a business owner? Do you make your own products? This is your best opportunity ever. Register your brand now with the first and largest marketplace promoting Nigerian-made products. Get access to over 17 million shoppers and customers currently in need of your products. Download on Google Play Store now to register or visit ekiaja.com. Focus on creating your passion. Leave the marketing to us.
Comrade Show, wait, Comrade Lante Oriente. This is the Comrade Show.